What's up, y'all? This is Smokey Black 19750. Back on deck and in full effect. I got my mans Salem on deck. The podcast today is about boxing. Who's your top five? It don't matter what era. It don't matter what timeline. It don't matter if you're black or white. Who is your top five boxer? And I want to know why. Salem, who your top five, dog?
All right, here's what I got. I got Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, and Hagler.
Is that in alphabetical order, or it just what you just throw out there?
No particular order, man. It's going to be stereotypical. It's going to be Muhammad Ali being the greatest, Sugar Ray Leonard number 3, Mike Tyson number 2, and the other two, it is what it is.
So it don't matter what order. All right. Now, why would you pick? You said Ali is number 1.
Yeah.
Why would you say he's number 1? He has been defeated, bro.
First off, greatest of all time is not defined by defeats. Otherwise, we wouldn't consider Michael Jordan the greatest, right?
Facts.
Ali was a man who stood for. He's an icon. This boy was a political activist. If it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be no boxing. There wouldn't be no shit like Colin Kaepernick. Wouldn't be none of that. He was everything in one, and he did it at a time where your ass Gaddafi was standing up against the government.
Facts.
So shit. And no, a champion is not defined by his losses, but by his wins and what he contributed during his reign.
Mm-hmm. I can dig it. So, do you think it was justified for Brother Muhammad to step down as champion and refuse to fight in the war?
Yeah, it was justified. He was right about that. So basically, with the Vietnam War shit, basically it was all a part of the Cold War and every attempt to stop communism.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, with all due respect, Muhammad Ali, despite the fact that he was a world-class boxer, he's just a soldier over there. He could have died just as easily. And I understand if he's going to fight, he wants to be able to fight for the right reasons, not to be a political pawn and some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like a fuck you to America, but it was more like they not going to stop and say, yo, I'm not going to blow this motherfucker up. And he's Muhammad Ali. When he's over in Vietnam, all of his status and notoriety, all that shit going away. He's just another soldier to these motherfuckers. So they was going to kill Ali all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it wasn't as successful as intended. And as a result of that, a lot of soldiers died. A lot of men. See, the shit they don't tell you about war is the guys who don't come back. And if you do come back, you're not the same guy when you first went in. They ain't gonna tell you that shit.
Yeah, you talking about the aftermath after the war.
Yeah, because he say Ali went over there and he fucking caught PTSD or he died, then what?
They're going to say he's a crazy man, and he's already a brother, so he's already ostracized right then and there.
Yeah, he did the right thing by making that decision. As far as him losing his credentials in boxing as champion, that was straight bullshit. He should have sued the boxing commission because that had nothing to do with fighting no fucking war, man.
Well, it was all politics. I guess they look at it. I guess you can go ahead. You go ahead. I can rebuttal. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying you can't let politics interfere with what the fuck you got going on. Y'all make millions of dollars off of Ali. This motherfucker pays the way. What he says or doesn't say outside of boxing ain't got shit to do with boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there was just a little dirty ass backdoor so they could get new champions and pump some new blood into their industry.
So what you trying to say is you calling Joe Louis a prima donna?
I'm not saying Joe Louis is a prima donna, but what I'm saying is it was a bitch move to get rid of. I take his belt away from him because he couldn't defend it. You could have put that shit on hiatus. You could have said we're going to have an interim champion until he gets out. But no, it was a bullshit move by the industry. They capitalized on the fact that man went to jail so they could find new people and get new blood in the industry.
Mm-hmm. I'm digging it, brother. But was everything answered when the real People's Champ and the Paper Champ stepped in that ring. Remember when they fought? It was the biggest fight during that time in that era. But was it justified when Ali got knocked down? Was it justified?
Oh, Larry Holmes.
No, I'm talking about against Joe Frazier.
That right there was some. It wasn't really justified because let me tell you something. Ali he didn't have a chance to prepare really.
Facts.
He didn't have a chance to prepare, man. Shit. The boy would spend most of his time in prison lockdown. He didn't have time to properly prepare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Like,
average boxers got months to prepare for that.
Yeah, you think about this shit. Ali had to survive prison. He ain't had time to be worrying about the motherfucker in a boxing ring.
Facts. I can agree. But everything was answered in the ring, bro. I mean, it's on pen and paper. I understand where you coming from, far as that.
But Ali, let me tell you something. Ali fucked that nigga up though for the other two fights.
Oh hell yeah! The second fight in the Thriller in Manila, was a classic.
He wasn't a prisoner no more.
Facts, because he was already mentally prepared to deal with in the ring when it came to Frazier. Frazier really couldn't box, honestly.
He was an inhumane in jail. He was in inhumane conditions in jail. And when a motherfucker, so he literally was just thrown out there. It'd be like taking a rap out of prison and saying, all right, you got 2 days to drop an album.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck do you think is going to happen? They're not going to be able to work like that. You know what I mean?
Right. But
after that, those other two fights, he fucked Frazier up.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Remember Arsenio Hall show?
Yeah.
Remember when the Arsenio Hall show used to come on? And I don't know if you remember this scene. You had Sugar Ray Leonard, you had Iron Mike, and you had Brother Muhammad up on there, right? And Arsenio Hall asked Mike Tyson when Mike was in his prime, and he was like, man, you really knocking brothers out, man. He was like, do you really think you had a chance against Muhammad Ali? Mike Tyson said no. Mike Tyson literally said no. And I'm like, what? I'm like, dog,
let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Ali would have fucked Tyson up.
Hell no. Hell no. I don't see that, dog. I don't see that, bro. I'm sorry, man. I don't see it.
Ali was the origin point of all that shit. And his defense, look at Ali's defense moves, defensive moves and shit, and look at Tyson. A lot of the shit Tyson borrowed from Ali. He wasn't as flashy as Ali, but a lot of Mike Tyson's defensive prowess was borrowed from Muhammad Ali, man.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, brother, that...
My man, nobody gives Ali this credit. He will fuck you up. He was very deadly offensive.
Oh, yeah!
He was... Like, nobody gives Ali enough credit. That nigga was a knockout king.
He didn't have no punching power, though, bro.
He would have knocked Mike Tyson out in the 5th round.
Hell no. I don't see that coming. I don't see that coming.
He needed 5 rounds, 2 to figure out Tyson, at which point Mike Tyson admitted that after the 2nd round, he couldn't fight no more. That's why the majority of Mike Tyson's fights had to end within those 2 rounds. Ali would have survived those 2 rounds, figured his ass out. 3rd round, he would have started his strategy. 4th round, he would have capitalized. 5th round, he would have executed. I'm telling you.
So you saying Muhammad would have knocked Iron Mike down in his prime?
In 5 rounds, that's all he needed.
I got Mike knocking Ali down at least about good 10 rounds. I give him 10.
Nah, man, Mike wouldn't have lasted past 5. Yo, he already admitted he couldn't get. If he didn't knock your ass out by the 2nd round, Mike was in trouble. If you look it up on Google, Mike was known and he was guilty. He admitted himself. If I don't get your ass within those first 2 rounds, I'm in trouble. That's why Mike was knocking niggas out. It was not by choice. He had to knock you the fuck out so he wouldn't have to worry about your ass going a distance.
So basically what you saying is Mike didn't have no gas.
No, he didn't. He admitted to that. So Mike became a genius at knocking niggas the fuck out within 2 rounds. He admitted to that, yo.
I still got Iron Mike knocking Brother Muhammad in 10 rounds, bro. I'm sorry,
I
man.
ain't gonna front.
That
He getting the
peekaboo
last
style,
man.
that peekaboo style. Have you seen that peekaboo style, bro?
No, he was the king of peekaboo stuff. Mike Tyson was.
Yes.
But against a master tactician like Ali, he wouldn't have lasted. And see, Ali would get in your fucking head.
Facts. Yeah, I can agree. He
That was
talks so
Mike
much
Tyson-
mumbo jumbo, yo.
Mike Tyson, he established his dominance like a prison mentality.
Right.
Like he had niggas scared that he was gonna rape him and shit.
Mhm.
But Ali, basically, he was getting your head by the time y'all niggas even acknowledge each other. Ali was dance at getting the niggas' heads, yo.
Man, you talking about that shit he did with Sonny Liston?
No, not just Sonny Liston. George Foreman, he's gotten that motherfucker's head. He had them niggas thinking that he put a voodoo curse on his ass. Ali, Bomaye, he fucked that nigga up. He already had George Foreman's mind, yeah.
Man, big boy George, man, was giving that nigga that work, bro.
Nah, bro. He fucked George Foreman up. I'm sorry.
Man, come on,
But
brother.
yeah, George Foreman got hit so hard, he started seeing angels and shit.
Come
I'm
on,
not joking
brother.
about
You
that.
talking about that rope-a-dope bullshit that he put? Big
Nah,
boy
he
George was
fucked up.
cooking,
It
yo.
worked.
Yeah, it worked, but look at the pounding that he was taking. Was it
No,
worth
he
it?
wasn't getting hit. He was not getting hit.
Muhammad was getting hit after he got locked up, brother.
Nah. Look up the rope-a-dope. Slow that shit down.
Well, I honestly, I really didn't like the rope-a-dope. I thought the rope-a-dope was dangerous.
It made George fall. All right, so George will only land like 2 or 3 out of every 10 punches.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I got you to only achieve out of 10 punches, your ass only got 2 or 3 in, and I done got your